Let's get some analysis now on this story, and joining us from Beijing is Chen Mingming, former Chinese ambassador to New Zealand and the Cook Islands. He was also a top-level official in the Chinese embassy here in Washington from 1987 to 1990. And joining us in New York is David Denoon. He's the director of the New York University Center on U.S.-China Relations. Ambassador, why don't I begin with you? How significant are these talks, and what can we expect to see as a result once they're finished?
Well, this round of trade talks is actually a long-standing regular channel of communication on trade issues between China and the United States. But this particular round, I think, is of particular significance, given the fact that it's being held at a time when leadership transition is accomplished in both China and the United States. And I expect that this round of trade talks will set the stage for further discussions during the next year and beyond. Yes.
David, let me get your thoughts. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yes, I do. I think the leadership transition in China is critical. Obviously, in the United States, we have the same president, but there are going to be changes in personnel. But the trade imbalance and various differences on trade policy have been a central piece of U.S.-China relations over the last 4 years, and they will be central as we move forward.
Ambassador, why don't you give me the position of China, if you will, as they enter these talks? What would they like to see come out of these talks from their perspective? Because each side has these sticking points that are really kind of jamming up the work, so to speak, when it comes to trade.
Yes, China has a number of issues that I expect that the delegations will raise during the talks. Number one, reduce barriers to Chinese investment in the U.S. I would expect that a couple of high-profile cases, such as Huawei and the wind power litigation and anti-dumping cases on polar energy paths and so on, will be raised. But the important thing is that both sides should be able to continue to focus on these issues and explore ways to address them, despite the fact that these are long-standing difficulties and problems that cannot be resolved overnight, just during this round of talks. But the important thing is for both sides to focus on these issues, to talk about them, to exchange views, to discuss ways to resolve them, and to sustain the momentum for trying to resolve them over time during the next couple of years.
And David, what do you see the U.S. Trade Representative Ron Kirk hoping to come out of these talks with? What are his main sticking points he's going to push? Intellectual property?
Intellectual property is obviously a key element. Also, they want to lay the framework for broader access by American firms in the financial sector and also in the public sector inside China. There have been a number of reservations which limit the ability of the U.S. to compete there. And as you know, the very rapid expansion of the infrastructure there provides a lot of opportunities. So American firms see those opportunities, and they'd like to have full access to them.
I'd like to get both of you to chime in on this. Now, in the past year, we've seen trade disputes between the U.S. and China over tires, solar panels, rare earths, many other issues. What worries you about these ongoing disputes, and is there a way that these gentlemen can sit there and kind of hammer things out when it comes to this? And I'll start with you, Ambassador.
Well, I think yes, go ahead. Yes?
I think what's troubling right now is much more the set of foreign policy concerns that the U.S. has, which relate to China's relations with its neighbors. I think the economic issues are critical, but I agree with the ambassador that they are long-term issues that are going to be dealt with piecemeal over time. I would say the territorial issues and the broader questions of what's happening in the Pacific may be more volatile at the moment.
But are those issues that would come up in these kind of talks?
No. No, but they provide the setting in which the more technical aspects of the trade talks occur.
Ambassador, let me get your thoughts.
Here in China, I think the prevailing concern is that the trade issues in the bilateral relations are being politicized. People are concerned that whether the United States really welcomes Chinese investment in the U.S. And people are concerned that various forces and vested interest groups are trying to really undermine these trade relations that is not in the best interest of both countries. So I think that's why I think it's important that this round of trade talks should send the right signals to the business communities in both the U.S. and China that the two governments are committed to building these ties rather than undermining it.
Ambassador Chen Mingming in Beijing, David Denoon from New York, thank you both for joining us and offering your insights tonight. Appreciate it.